If you're thinking about starting a real estate photography business in 2024, this video is for you. I'm going to give you a behind the scenes look at everything you'll need to consider and get in order to get started as a real estate photographer. So I'll go through gear, both a budget friendly option and a more long-term suitable option. I'm going to go through softwares that you'll need, as well as how to price your services and what services that most real estate photographers are offering in 2024. Hopefully this will give you a huge head start and give you a much clearer vision of what you're gonna need to get and set up in order to make this happen. So how we're gonna do this is start with the gear. I'm gonna break down the different gear kits that I recommend. Then I'm gonna go over to our actual order form at my real estate photography business, Norman & Young, and show you how we in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas price our services, which will give you a pretty good middle ground as to how pricing could be in your area. I'm gonna show you what services we offer, and then a couple of other softwares that I like and currently use at my photo business. That way you can start with as little trial and error as possible. That's always my goal. It took me years when I was starting my business to figure everything out, and I made so many mistakes that cost me, frankly, a lot of money, but also a lot of time. And I think time is more valuable, especially if you're trying to get a business off the ground. So here's what we're gonna do. We'll jump into the budget kit first, which you can see here. This is if you're trying to get started with the least amount of money spent possible. And I think this is a really good option. Even if you have more money and you say, Eli, I could totally afford to buy the kit that my employees currently use, I would just encourage you to maybe even in that case still think about the budget kit. The main difference is not going to be the quality of the photos or anything else. It's going to be the usability on a daily basis. So the budget kit's going to have a cheaper tripod. It's going to have a camera that is cheaper, but it's also physically smaller. The battery life's less, so it'll still get the same job done, just a little cheaper. Some other things that are just more quality of life stuff. I'm always a big fan of getting the cheapest gear possible, getting your business started, making sure this is something you actually like doing, getting some money coming in, and maybe just letting your clients pay for the upgrade. So here's the budget kit, and I'll have this linked below. Everything we talk about on this video will be linked below so you can easily find it. If you're wanting to start with the least amount of money spent possible, you actually don't even need everything in this kit. So I'd recommend getting started with just photos if you're very much on a budget. So in order to shoot real estate photos, you're gonna need 4 things from this kit. You're gonna need a tripod, and really any tripod will work. I just think this is a good budget option that balances quality with price. So you'll need a tripod, you'll need a camera and a lens. The thing here is if you have a camera already, it will probably work if it's made in the last 10 years. What is gonna make more of a difference though is the lens. You're gonna want a wide enough angle lens. So if you're using something that is a crop sensor, more entry-level camera, like this EOS R50, you're gonna need a very wide lens. So like a 10 to 18 millimeter and 11 to 22 is pretty common. If you're using a full frame camera, which is typically a little bit more expensive of a camera, because it has a larger sensor, you need a less wide lens. You don't even need to know all of what that means. You just need to know that if you have a full frame camera, you'll want like a 16 to 35 millimeter. So you can look it up if you put in your camera body, type in is blank full frame or is blank crop sensor, and you'll figure it out. Or just remember, crop sensor, you want 10 or 11 millimeters at the widest. Full frame, you want 16 millimeters at the widest. So besides those 3 things, the 4th thing you'll need is a memory card. And you could literally start your real estate photography business with just those 4 things. Now, you're not gonna be able to offer video, you're not gonna be able to offer drone photos or anything like that, but that's okay. If that's all the money that you can spend, it is better to get started with less equipment and less services than it is to wait until you can afford everything, because you're gonna be able to afford it faster if your clients are paying you for photos, right? So that's the base stuff for photos. If I jump over to our order form, you'll see that our 3 main packages include a lot more than just photos, so you wouldn't be able to shoot those, but you could offer all of our a la carte services. So this is gonna be just photos, just photos, just photos. You could offer all of these services and make some pretty good money that would help you upgrade gear. Once you're ready to upgrade, the next things you're gonna wanna add are gonna be a 360 camera and a drone, and then some sort of stabilizer to shoot video. So you can either shoot video on your iPhone with an iPhone stabilizer, like you can see here, the DJI Osmo Mobile 4. Or if you want to shoot it with your camera, you can do the Ronin SC. That'll actually hold this camera on it. Now you can actually shoot really good video with just an iPhone. A lot of people will just switch to a camera because it looks a little bit more professional when you come to a shoot. If you're shooting with your iPhone, it doesn't look as great, right? Most clients won't care, but that's just my 2 cents on it. We shoot our vertical video on iPhone. So if you have an iPhone, great. You can even use it without this stabilizer, but vertical videos become really popular. So you can actually, if you're just starting, chances are you have a phone. If it's made recently, it'll have a wide angle lens on the phone, and that's what you can do for video starting. But once you want to upgrade, then you can move over to like something like the Ronin SC. As far as what these are all for, so I'll just show you on this by going up to our packages. All right, so in our base package, there's these 3 services. So 25 photos, that's obviously the basic camera. Drone photos is the drone. And so if you wanted to be able to offer this package, all you would need to get on top of those 4 things is just a drone like this. And this drone you can see, I'll show you on Amazon, it's pretty cost effective. I think it's somewhere around the $500, I guess $700 depending on the kit you get. I think there is a cheaper version though if you look it up. You can always do like the Mini 3 Pro or one of the older ones, or you can get it used. I'm a big fan of buying used, so if it was me, I would try to find this on Craigslist. You can get it for $400 or $500 more than likely. Facebook Marketplace, something like that. Don't feel the need to buy new. A lot of people are like, well, what if it's been messed up? Like, chances are it hasn't been. If it flies and it works good, it's good. You can always test that, especially if you're buying locally. So that would allow you to shoot that. And then basic floor plans with room measurements. So we use a company called Cubicasa that is awesome, and they're actually sponsoring this video. As with anything that I allow to sponsor anything we do, we use it first in our photo business. If we don't use it, we don't do any sort of sponsorships. Cubicasa is awesome. It is an app, and I'll show you the website here. You get it on your phone, and you can make the most amazing floor plans with your iPhone so simply. So you literally just go around and scan the house. It takes 5 to 10 minutes depending on the size of the house, and they're gonna send you back one of these floor plans. I'll show you some of the options. They have more than floor plans, which I'll talk about in a second, but I love Cubicasa because not only is it a great product that our clients love, but if you're just getting started as a real estate photographer, it's a service you can offer without having to spend more money on gear. So you can shoot these on your phone. So it makes all these floor plans. Like you literally, it's the craziest thing and you have to try it. You walk around the house, it shows you how to scan in the app. So just go get the Cubicasa app. It makes this floor plan for you. There's a bunch of different options. You can see there's colored versions. There's ones that have measurements in the rooms. You get all sorts of options. And they also do 3D video renders and a bunch of other products. Like I'll put this below if you can check out everything they do. But these are all made from your phone, which is nuts. Like even this 3D render, like you'll see here, this is made from scanning with your phone in a property. So absolutely love Cubicasa. Highly recommend you checking them out. Kind of a non-negotiable. Almost every real estate photographer offers floor plans, and the vast majority use Cubicasa. We at Norman & Young are in their preferred photographer program, which you should definitely check out. In exchange for offering floor plans with every shoot that you do as part of your shoot price, you can build it into the price. Cubicasa gives you faster turnaround, 25% off, and a bunch of other cool stuff. I think it's a no-brainer. So with every one of our packages, you'll notice that they all come with a floor plan and room measurements. Not only does it help with Cubicasa because we get faster turnaround and cheaper prices on their stuff, which is already super affordably priced and makes a lot of sense. You also get a big benefit to your clients, which is they're getting a floor plan with every listing. That's something our clients absolutely love. And we actually market that to get new clients by saying every shoot we do comes with an included floor plan. They don't have to pay extra for it. So it's an awesome tool. Highly encourage you to check out Cubicasa. And obviously a big thank you to them for sponsoring this video. Awesome company, awesome people to work with. Got to meet a good portion of their team in person, and I'm so glad that they've done what they've done in the industry. It's an awesome product. So that's what that package is. If I move over to our Pro package, you'll see there's some more stuff in here. We do a Zillow 3D tour. So in order to do, this is the same as the last one, right? It's just more photos, and this is the same. The only new thing here is gonna be a Zillow 3D tour. So Zillow 3D tours are awesome because they're free for you. You just sign up to get a Zillow account that can make a 3D tour. I forget the specific app, but I'll link it below. I think it's called Zillow Home, Zillow, something like that. Either way, it doesn't cost you anything. You just have to go shoot the tour. And real estate agents love those tours because it creates a cool 3D tour, but it also bumps their listings ranking on Zillow, which is big. In order to shoot a Zillow tour, you can do one on your phone. It just takes a lot longer because your phone is not a 360 camera. So you have to like turn around and capture it. That's okay if you're on a really tight budget, but if not, you definitely want to get something like the Insta360 X3 because you just press one button, and because it's a 360 camera, it's actually going to take, you can see here, it has the lenses on both sides, so it's going to take a full 360 photo with one button. So that's the only difference in the middle package. And then if we move up to our plus package, which is the biggest package that we offer, there's a bunch more services in here. So the cool thing though is you don't need any more gear. So we talked about this one before. 60-second video, like we talked about. You can use your camera with something like the Ronin SC, or you can just use your iPhone on a stabilizer. Going down, we have a Matterport 3D tour. So Matterport, just like Zillow tours, you can do a Matterport tour on your phone, but it's a lot faster if you have a 360 camera. There's a difference between a Zillow 3D tour and a Matterport 3D tour. So the Matterport 3D tour is a lot higher quality. I'll just show you what it looks like on Matterport's website. You've probably seen this before, but these tours are super cool. They're really easy to make as well. You just walk around, set this thing down, press the scan button on the Matterport app, but it makes this cool tour that you can kind of like walk around in, and then it gives you a dollhouse view of the property that you can move around on. Whereas a Zillow 3D tour, I'll show you an example. It's a little different. There should be one on here, but if not, I can find one on Zillow. Actually, let me show you on Zillow. Homes for sale, Miami. If I show you this, you'll see that some of them have a 3D tour badge. So I'm going to zoom in here and we'll see one eventually. Okay, so see how this has a little 3D tour badge? That means that there's a 3D tour in it. So if we click on this property, it's going to show us that 3D tour, and that's part of that ranking bump. So I can go in here and hit Explore 3D Tour. You'll see the difference between this and Matterport. I think this one was shot on a phone. So you can see it doesn't really allow you to look up and down. You can just look around. This tour got a little messed up too. And then it just like zooms to the next scene. It doesn't connect as thoroughly as a Matterport 3D tour. So overall, in my opinion, Matterport is a higher quality product, but there's a good reason to have a Zillow tour because it bumps the ranking. And so that's what we did on this package. We did a Matterport because it's higher quality. We have a 3D floor plan, basic floor plan with room measurements for Kiwi Casa, 12 drone photos. Then we do a virtual twilight photo. The cool thing about virtual twilights is you don't need any additional camera equipment. You take a daylight photo and send it to an editor, and they make that into a virtual twilight for you. And so no more gear that you'll need. That's a pretty good overview of like the services that we offer, and then the base kit that I recommend. I'll just scroll down here so you can see kind of generally what we're offering now. As far as our prices go, $195 for base, $365 for pro, and $825 for plus. This pricing will depend on your market a little bit. We also offer, we're in Texas, so we shoot a lot of land. It could be ranch properties or just vacant lots. So we have a couple of different packages for that. We have a base lot listing package, then a land listing, which gets you more photos, and then a plus land package, which is a video, 360 drone tour, some other stuff. So that's typically used for like a bigger ranch. And then we also offer everything a la carte. So up here, these are all packages, which I highly recommend having as a real estate photographer. It will drive up your average order value, which is the amount of money you get paid per shoot on average. So definitely a good idea, but some agents will just want to order a la carte. So we go from 60 photos at the largest photo package, photos only, well, and a floor plan too. Shout out to Kiwi Casa, down to our 10 to 15 package, which is our smallest package. A lot of times they use this on rental properties where the commission isn't as high. We also have a 20-20-20 package, which is for construction, like new builds. So we do some before photos and reels, and then we do some during construction and some after. Pretty cool package that our builder clients love. If we move down a little bit farther, got drone photos standalone, a la carte video services. So we offer reels, which are vertical style videos, and then we offer regular videos, quote unquote regular, which is horizontal. Reels are becoming a lot more popular. And like I was saying, the nice part with reels is you can just shoot them on your iPhone. I actually recommend shooting it on your iPhone, even if you're using something like a Ronin with this camera for your horizontal videos. The iPhones are awesome. Even newer Androids that have good cameras are awesome in the sense that they adjust really well the lighting changes. So typically reels are like you going inside and outside, and it's just a great way to shoot that kind of footage. So we also offer some other stuff like twilight photos, which I will have a video coming soon on here on YouTube. Virtual staging. Virtual staging is super cool because you just take a photo of the empty room and then you send it to the editor and they add in furniture. And so that's an overview of our services. We have a few more add-ons that they can get after they go through and book. I'll talk about software in a second because this is a software that we use and recommend. But lastly, as I said I was going to do, I'm going to go over to our main kit. So we have our budget kit. This is the kit that my employees use. You'll notice it's just a little better quality tripod and tripod head, nicer camera. The main thing on this, you'll get slightly better video quality. Photos are going to look exactly the same. But the other thing is you get way better battery life, and the camera's just physically bigger. So if you're doing a lot of shoots, the battery lasts longer, you're not always changing it, and it's just physically easier to use. Plus, it looks a little bit more professional to your clients, and I think that's worth something, right? Especially when you're shooting multiple houses a day. Little nicer gimbal that can hold a slightly heavier camera. Everything else is gonna stay roughly the same. There's just not a difference to make sense of upgrading. So I'll have this link below in the description just so you can check it out. Last thing I highly recommend is some sort of business management software that's built for real estate photographers. So we currently use Spiro at Norman & Young. I'll link that below. It's spiro.media. Spiro's awesome because what it allows you to do is have an order page like this where your clients can select and they can actually book and confirm a time if you turn that on and go through the full process of scheduling. There's a backend in Spiro that manages your schedule, photo delivery, creates property websites for your clients, and it's just overall like a dream software for real estate photographers. We're lucky enough to be part of the Spiro team now. We were invited by the founder, Todd, to be a part of the development of the software. We've obviously worked with a lot of people who are real estate photographers, but the cool thing is that Todd, who built this software, owns a very, very successful real estate media company. And so he actually built this software for his business first. He went to school for software engineering or something in the computer space with software. And so he always had that background, and he built this for his business. And then as any good entrepreneur, one day he realized other people would love this. And so thankfully he made it available so we all can use it. His company does hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in real estate media. So it is literally the best software for real estate media companies. Everything you do, like this runs Norman & Young. Everything's on here. And so highly encourage you to check it out. The cool thing with Spiro, and one of the reasons I really like them, apart from that the software is just amazing, is there's no base fee. So you can go get a Spiro account, you can have, it's basically like your whole business runs on here. You can set up your shopping cart that I was showing you. You can input all your services. You can get everything set up without paying $1. The only time you pay is every time you deliver a project to a client, and it's $5 a project. So it's really nice, like when you're first getting started, not to have this big monthly expense, because that's hard. You're starting a business. You probably don't have a lot of money when you're first starting. You definitely don't want to spend it on stuff that isn't immediately making you revenue. So Spiro lets you look like a pro from day one and have your company set up well. So overall, that's what you need really to get started as a real estate photographer. The stuff that I haven't talked about here is the work you're gonna have to do, right? You're gonna have to go out there and get clients. You're gonna have to set up your Instagram account like we've talked about here a lot and other things like that. But the nice part about real estate photography is you can do a lot. You can offer a lot of services with not super expensive gear. And I love that because there are a lot of businesses, even in photography, there are a lot of other niches that require like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of gear. When you can get started as a real estate photographer, especially if you go used, which is very smart, for like under $1,000 and offer almost everything. I mean, you can get a cheap camera, a cheap drone. You can use your phone that you already have to make 3D tours with Matterport and Zillow and Cubicasa and everything like that, with very, very little initial investment. And I just think that's important because I get to work with a lot of people who are starting their business. And the common theme is you don't have a lot of money when you're starting. I certainly didn't. Most people don't. So you got to work with what you got. And a lot of photography niches, I mean, weddings, you got to buy thousands of dollars worth of gear. And that's still a low cost business. Like a lot of other businesses, you have to rent a warehouse or like buy a bunch of inventory. So anyway, I hope this gives you a good overview on what you'll need to get started as a real estate photographer, gear wise, and some basic software. As always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to answer those for you. And if you're ready to take the plunge and give this a serious go, my team and I would love to work with you. We have an awesome team who our full-time thing, now that my photo business, Norman & Young, has a great team in place that runs it, our full-time thing, my full-time thing, along with the team, is helping people build awesome real estate media businesses. So you'll find the link to talk with my team below. We'd love to dive into your market with you, make sure that the area you're in actually can work, because there has to be a certain amount of population and different stuff that we look at. So check that out. Hope this video had a bunch of value for you. There's a lot of goodies in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.